Hello, adventurers. Welcome. It's I, Blubobobobo. Come, join me by the fire. Make yourself a s'more. Let me tell you the story about the Vulture brothers. A long time ago, longer now than it seems, the sun decided he wanted to visit his daughter, the Earth. The problem with this was that the closer he got to Earth, the more he hurt the plants and animals living there. The trees and plants began to wilt. The rivers and streams began to disappear, and the animals began to suffer. Eventually, the animals decided they needed to send someone to the sun to push him back to where he belonged in the sky. But who would go? Obviously, it would need to be a bird, as they are the only ones that could fly. But which one? Eagle, the biggest and strongest? Owl, the wisest? Or maybe Raven, the clever one? Eventually, two brothers stepped forward. The Vulture brothers were beautiful birds with striking colors streaking across their long plumage. They were known for flying very high into the sky and soaring on the winds for miles. The two brothers took off in a cloud of dust and began their journey to the sun. As they flew higher, the heat grew terrible. Eventually, the heat began to singe the brothers' feathers. They continued flapping their wings closer and closer until they were right up against the sun. With one massive push, the two brothers thrust their heads against the sun, began pushing it with all their might. They pushed through the pain of their feathers, smoking and burning, till finally the sun was back where it belonged in the sky. The two brothers fell back and began spiraling back down to the earth. They landed with a splash in one of the few ponds that had started to return. With steam and smoke flowing from their bodies, the brothers hopped back onto the land. The eldest's feathers had been burned black. The feathers around his head were singed off, leaving his skin red and scarred. Henceforth, he was called Turkey Vulture. The youngest feathers were also burned black, except under his wings, which looked like gray soot lining his feathers. His face had been burned and scarred black as coal, and he was known from then on as Black Vulture. From that day forth, the brothers were embarrassed by their scarred faces and singed feathers, so much so that they refused to eat with others and would only feast on the leftovers of other animals, even though both brothers were honored among the animals as the ones that had sacrificed their beauty for the welfare of the other creatures of Earth. Thank you for listening, my friends. I hope you have safe travels. Take care.